a huge part of what you said. But moving on to all of this now, what can you hear me?
Are you there?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you? Are you
Are
okay
you there?
now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. So I would like you to go back to the question I asked earlier. We missed a huge part of what you said. So please, can you reiterate what you meant by when you talked about the fact that Lagos is the only place that has a dual runway?
Yeah, I mean, with the dual runway or the international operations, domestic operations will still be going on as the air show is on. So
Mm.
now I see the advantage of coming to Lagos because of the runway and the space that is needed. Again, between now and when the show will come up, there will be a lot of development, there will be a lot of revamping of the airside, whereby most of
Mm-hmm.
the aircraft will be placed for visitors to look at. So they will have to improve the infrastructure there, and that's also a good one for the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. It's an opportunity to develop in the infrastructure at the airport, and generally, right, it's a good one for the economy, coming for the first time to the West African sub-region. So we all look forward to it. We look forward to that. To the benefits are not just for those that will come and advertise, come up exhibit their products, but it's the interaction with the Nigerian aviation segment and other visitors from the sub-region who would use that opportunity to network and also probably the research firms companies probably now have domicile themselves in Nigeria, and that's a good benefit for us. And that will also help improve aviation's contribution to the GDP.
All right. So you talked earlier about infrastructure upgrades. Now, what do you think should be implemented? What sort of upgrades should be implemented to have a successful air show?
Well, the minister, like I said yesterday, that it's working with the team. I think they need to involve the Lagos State government in providing not because the show does not only happen at the airport, but it starts from the moment they enter the country, as they go to the hotels, as they go around the state. Then there's the need to showcase Lagos, to show that Lagos is safe and Nigeria is safe by virtue of what they see in Lagos. So there must be that there must be partnership between the federal government and the state government. Now, for the infrastructure side, we're looking at power, communication, the ability to also ensure that transactions made during that period are remitted or not like what we have when you hear that there's that a lot is hanging or is vast. So many need to be, so many of the presidents who are working tools, e-business should all be top notch so that they can so that show can go successfully. But I am quite sure that it is the initiative. It's a beauty to see the minister come with this new initiative. And it's very commendable, and I think Nigerian aviation would benefit more.
All right, so tell us, you're talking about benefiting more. What do you think is the primary objective of hosting this show, and how will Nigeria benefit? I ask this question again, benefit from this?
The primary objective of any aviation show is to showcase the potentials of your own industry. Now, as those companies will be coming in to showcase potential, also to expose your industry players to what the products and facilities out there. So and in exposing those products, you are practically rather than traveling all the way to look at those products, you are both to adjust it, reducing the cost of a transaction. And with that, you also expect that once the cost of obtaining those products are there, it also reduces that the general cost to the customers or passengers of the service that will need those services. So it's a win-win. While the Nigerian aviation industry would have access to more products, international products, and equipment that are now available, the same also applies that those international companies are going to have more customers within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, and Nigeria will now also be the hub. Will probably be like the distribution site for some of those things to move beyond and move to other countries within the West African region and even Central African region, being the first major air show. And I think we should just make a very good display of it and see how this can how we can continue with it. But I just don't want to start it and stop. We must make sure it's a yearly event and we're able to continue and sustain it.
Yes, with all you have said, we just hope as well it will be a yearly event, and Nigeria stands to benefit more from it. But what kind of investment opportunities will this air show present for both local and international stakeholders?
Well, for the local stakeholders, I said that before. It's an opportunity to see products, equipment compared to the sources you have in the past, and look at you now have to wait and see which are the best options for you now. Now, people that are coming all the way to West Africa are definitely coming here to target the Nigerian market, to give a better product, to give a better facility, to give better offer than what is out there. That's why they're going to be coming down, and they're not only targeting Nigeria, they're targeting West Africa. So we might find out that most of our players will now become the major distribution to move it beyond once it gets to West Africa, to move it beyond Lagos to other countries within the West African countries, and that's a big plus. Again, if you look at the present exchange rate issues. Now, these people are coming in now. You are not taking that. There's a problem that you can even negotiate to have payment in naira, which is also at an advantage to the Nigerian companies. But by and large, let us work towards having a successful air show. Let us see how Nigerian players can participate. Let us see how we can convince the organizations to go into our export processing zone and set up companies and similar structures that produce those things. So they can now be produced within Nigeria and with little tax and stress on them, and that would be a benefit. But the bottom line for me is, apart from those people coming in, is the potential of improving tourism and driving tourism to Nigeria itself.
All right, so let's talk about lessons that can be learned. Now, this is holding in Lagos State, and like you have rightly mentioned, Lagos has a dual runway. Lagos is quite sophisticated. That's because successive governments in Lagos have had a plan for Lagos State and have made it so that tourism is key here, and everyone will want to come to Lagos. What can other states learn from the example of Lagos, seeing that the first aviation air show is coming into Lagos?
Please do not stress the other states. The advantage that Lagos
it's a huge advantage.
The dual runway was not built by Lagos, it was built by the federal government. It's been there. The apron space, and then you have Ibadan Airport, which is closer to Lagos, that some aircrafts can go and land. And you also have one in Shagamu now.
But do they have the infrastructure that Lagos presents? Do they have the potential, the tourism potentials, the security landscape and all of that Lagos presents?
The tourism and the potentials of getting returns on your investment. We must appreciate that Lagos is number one, and that's not taking it away from it. But then when you look at the infrastructure in place, Lagos is just about the only place that can handle such show. Considering that if you look at apart from the runway, you look at the apron space, you're looking at the other land or the airside spaces that are available on the airways at the moment that will not be utilized, and that will reduce the insecurity that we notice around the airside of the airport. Because now we are expected to utilize most of the airside now for this show, and that exposes that area. Moreover, remember the Lagos government is also working with the federal government to build a road around the Shasha and the airport fence, and also be some other facilities there. So I think with this air show now, that's also can be fast tracked and to ensure that we have a good scenery within the airport environment.
So in all of this now, do we envisage partnerships between Nigerian investors and their foreign counterparts, or the big players and the small players, so to say?
Definitely, that's not negotiable. That will come in. I'm looking beyond just the investors. I'm looking at the investors asking the Nigerian companies here to also represent them within the sub-region, and that's also helped. I'm looking at a position by when they come in, these investors will look at all their government representatives here and see whether they can even trade with us in naira, and while all other mode of payment can be accepted, rather than other mode of payment can be looked at rather than just being in dollars. So I think when they come in and they're able to discuss, they have the embassy officials available, it brings a smooth negotiation for the business and companies that will be available, and I expect better returns, and most importantly, during those shows, the good rates are always offered. And those rates, but they might be time bound, but you have good rates rather than what you have out there. And I think our investors, Nigerian aviation players, would participate and would benefit from it.
All right. So talking about investment drive, now there will be a lot of investors coming into Nigeria for this air show. Are we actually prepared to host the world in our very first air show?
I think the minister was clear and very, very clear about that. And I think I believe in him. For him to have said, he came up with a team and he said that it's sometime next year. If he said it was sometime in November or December, I would have doubted it. Okay. But now they said this next year. They have enough time to plan. They have enough time to work on the infrastructure we have on ground. We have enough lot space in Lagos. Just a collaboration with Lagos government, other security agencies, and the aviation players themselves to see that we are all participating in that event and ensure that Nigeria gets another medal, that medal of honor in the tourism and aviation show that should come to Nigeria. But for me, I have no doubt from the press briefing of the minister, from the team he has assembled, that this would be a success.
All right.
But remember, I said it should not be a one-off. It has to be. We should see what would happen yearly.
And yes, it should not be a one-off thing. And that's a huge concern because many people believe that we have laws, we talk about all of these things, but implementation seems to be our problem. And so are you concerned that after this, maybe the next Minister of Aviation might not follow in the same footing?
Well, if it comes out well, I don't think the next minister will have a problem following what is good and what is laid down. Moreover, I can see that there's a private initiative and participation in it. So it's something that would not be held down by minister. All we just need is just that coverage from and support from the government to ensure that facilities are made available by the institutions they control. I think it's something that will go on, irrespective of the minister that comes in. It's just the first one. Let us see how the first one goes. But once it goes well, it's something that will come yearly because it's not only a win-win it's a win-win for everyone, both the investors, the Nigerian players, the government itself. So why would you look at it and you want to throw such a project away? I think we have got past the dark days of anti-Serica.
Job opportunities. What about that?
Yes, it starts from somewhere. The most important, the job opportunities will not come on that day, but definitely there will be some jobs for those that would prepare the stand, those that would handle that would participate in organizing the event. Of course, thereafter, well, I'm looking at beyond that day itself. Beyond that day, you are looking at you're looking at companies who have come in, who are now going to be offered the export processing zones we have all over the airport and even outside the airport as places where they can set up. And once they set up, employment increases. I've said that before, and also explained that once employment increases and this company begin to produce to sell to the Nigerian aviation players, to sell to the other players within the West African and Central African region, then you begin to see transaction. We're having more export, and as we're having more export, our aviation contribution to Nigerian GDP also increases, and it's a good one for the economy and for Nigeria as a whole.
Okay, so this seems to be a collaboration between the federal government and private sector initiatives, right? A private initiative here. So what can other investors in Nigeria, how can they collaborate with the federal government to ensure that this becomes a success and they milk out the best from this?
An international air show is a good project, and like I said before, there's a private organization already working with the Honorable Minister on this. So with the private organization already working, other aviation players would naturally key in. Everybody's out for business. Everybody wants a business that will make that wants opportunities and offers that make their business grow. So if an additional air show is coming, people are bringing equipment, services right to your doorstep rather than running to the internet or traveling outside there. They are bringing right to your doorstep. You have to have a review to look at it, to discuss directly with you. Definitely, I doubt if there be opposition from the industry. And I can tell you, there will not be any opposition from the industry. It's not as if they are considering anything or they are taking any government property and giving it to the private. We are only showing the world the qualities of the Nigerian, the qualities and strength of the Nigerian aviation industry, and how we can build and expand on it. That's what the entire issue is all about.
Okay, well, how strong is the Nigerian aviation industry?
I didn't get that
How
question.
strong is the Nigerian aviation industry?
I don't know what you mean by strong. The industry is operating. We have domestic flights. We have almost the largest amount of the highest number of domestic airlines, almost about second or third in Africa with domestic airlines. So when it comes to the equipment, we might not match with airlines in Ethiopia, Egypt. But then we have a vibrant domestic market. What is left is how to transmit this into a strong international brand. And that is Airpeace has started. We're looking at one or two more airlines to join and see whether this will attract investors and international airlines to join and partner with the airlines to see more expansion.
All right. So the federal government on Wednesday engaged key stakeholders in the aviation sector to address challenges related to aircraft insurance, lease, and demands on financing. Is this call coming at the right time?
I don't let us get mixed this up. I think it's not a call per se. It's how to there's been this issue between the NICOM, that's the insurance companies, and the airlines over insurance of leased aircraft. And this is very clear. When you use an aircraft, it comes with the word ACNI, aircraft crew maintenance and insurance, and that is the insurance that the Nigerian insurance company says, look, the Nigerian companies, and there's the Nigerian content law saying that this should come to insurance companies. So, and I think that is what they're trying to, they are working out to see how well if you want to be a player in the aviation insurance companies, you also need to own some companies, some of these organizations. We don't manufacture aircraft in Nigeria. We don't even assemble an aircraft. So when you go for companies that have the aircraft, they naturally have the insurance company. So is that battle now to say, okay, yes, you have an insurance company. We also have the Nigerian content law that restricts us from asks us to take our Nigerian insurance. So I think that is what they're trying to close that gap. And I think it's just this started about 34 years now that they've been on it, and to see how it can be closed. And I think the message has now been the person that has, okay, now is bringing all players to tell us, okay, let us discuss this. Let us find a way forward. And like they said, after that meeting, they're supposed to meet with the foreign international partners so that they and this can be addressed.
All right, so of course, General Secretary of Aviation Roundtable, also an aviation analyst, Mr. Olumide Hunayo. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was quite insightful hearing your thoughts on this development. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, coming up next on the show, we will examine the